Welcome to South Central TV, where all of the videos you come across, yes, got all these gifts coming today. All these gifts coming today. It's got to be very nice. But today I thought it would be fitting because I think, I'm not sure if it's just an attack on women or not, children or not. I'm not really sure what's going on, but there's quite a bit, especially in the hip hop industry. Women are called bitches, whores, and sluts. Your children are going around calling their mothers bitches, and you know, they starting to greet you. Women are calling each other bitches. I'm not really sure if they're doing that just to kind of get you ready for the bitches. You know, the word is very disrespectful. It's been thrown around my neighborhood quite a bit. You have white people calling you bitches. You know. Um, that's a female dog, and to call yourself a female dog or a nigga is crazy. Because you can't be a dog or female unless you mix with white people. So-called white people. There's no such thing as a white person unless they are African American or African descent. That's what the etymology books say. You cannot be called white unless you have African descent. You have to have some African descent in you in order to be called white. Period. That's what the etymology book says. If you don't know what etymology is, it's a book of words and where they came from. So you cannot be called white if you don't have any black in you, or any melanation to you, or copper tone to you, or something natural from the earth. That's the only way you can be white, because that means you're 100% human. You don't have a mix. You're not a hybrid. So let's get to the juicy part about the disrespect. Little boys nowadays, I notice when I go to the parks, I hear these little children calling the girls bitches, or H's or S's, you know. And so I'm figuring, is that a gay thing? Is it becoming a gay thing where you're not respecting a woman because you're not really trying to have anything to do with a woman? You don't respect that this woman may have given birth to you, or this woman may be the mother of your children, or this woman may be a helpmate. This woman may help you pay bills one day. This woman will help to nurture you through thick and thin. This woman, not a dog. It seems like it's a paradigm that they're trying to get any type of thing to associate us with animals when we're not. We're the only 100% human being. I just wrote it in the journal today. I just read it in the journal today from Harvard University saying that the Africans were the only 100% human. They don't have a mix. And it has been found out that the white people was mixed with Neanderthals and dogs and lemurs and different other kind of animals. I don't know how it got in there. I don't know. It's not my business, or even though I do know how, because back in the day we kind of spliced some genes together and kind of like did that. But they keep mixing us with animals. And back in the day, they used to say that, through Darwin's theory, and what is a theory? Something hasn't been proven, but that black people or African American people or melanated people didn't have any feelings or no souls, so they were able to do all the stuff that they did to us. And that it was okay for us to do that to them because they did it to them. Well, we did it to them first. We had them in slavery for 1,200 years. I hope you know that. I hope all melanated people know we had them in slavery for 1,200 years. And it's not that we had them in slavery or did nothing like that. Different variety of countries, Slavic countries, that's where slave came from, was selling their own people to us. And it happened for 1,200 years. So we had them in slavery first. And the word slave means Slavic. It is not instrumental to you at all. We had indentured slavery. And then after this guy named Anthony Johnson, which is a melanated guy, he had slaves and wanted to keep them after they're tenured. So Anthony Johnson, check him out, look him up. He's a melanated guy that went to court and said he wanted to keep his slaves forever. Not as slaves, but as indentured slaves, because he had taught them all kind of stuff, and that they would take all of his carpentry information or technology or know-how and actually probably use it against him and maybe, spring up a couple of stores around him. So he went to court and said that because he gave these people all of this technology that he should have be able to keep them for a lifetime and their children. And he won the case. And so then that's when they started saying slavery was forever for those particular slave people. And then, and they had runaway slaves, of course. And so you would have the runaway slave and the master. Black ones and white ones would call the police, and the police at that time never did have the duties of going to get slaves. They were only there to hold down the merchants or secure the merchants of the stores, and it never was to run down on slaves. But because of the tumultuous amount of slaves, which by good right was running away and revolting against the slave master or the slavery for life thing. So then they had task force just for that. And so then they would find some free black people because there's a lot of black people for free. There was a lot of free ones in the beginning. Everybody was free. In fact, you would only go into an indentured slave servitude unless you owe somebody something or you was trying to build something and wanted some money or something. It was only indentured slavery. Period. So when they say slavery for 400 years, no. The majority of that, like almost damn near all of that, was indentured slavery.
Check it out.
And not everybody was a slave. In fact, we were Moors. And we were prominent people and everything. So back to the story. So when the police will go and find a slave or a black person, and they come back and say, "Is this your slave?" And they say, "No, it's not our slave. That's not our slave. That's not our slave." And so it was a waste of time on the police force. So after many of years of chasing down somebody that wasn't a slave and them actually being sued for detainment of a free person, they came up with the idea that all black people, because it was a burden on the society of the police department, they just said all black people were slaves, and including Anthony Johnson, and that all slaves couldn't have property because they were going in finding, and they just find a way to get the slaves, finding a way to get the property away from black people. But it was slavery as we know it, and the tumultuous slavery as we know it is not slavery as you know it. The slavery as we knew it was not the kind of slavery where they're tormenting and killing you, and it was nothing like that. They used to do the white people like that. In fact, there was more white people on the slave boats that came over here. There was no slaves that came over here. They took a lot of people from here and put them in different other places, trying to get rid of the people that were here. But there was more white people, and they treated their white people bad. They still was treating their white people bad, even their women bad, even kind of to today. So anyway, back to the story. The Anthony Johnson, went to court and told him that he wanted to keep his slaves or indentured slaves forever. He won the case. The slaves then went and had to stay there forever. And if they had kids, that became the property of the slave owner too. Anthony Johnson was a black man. He owned slaves. He was the one that instrumented or the slavery as we know it. And then once it was slavery as you know it, then the protections of slavery, because slavery, we had protections. We had paperwork, paperology, theology, meaning that if I did do work for you, I only had signed up for like a year of work, free work for you, for whatever reason it was. It's for some crimes you would do, just like you go to jail, you would do certain time in jail, but you have paper theology there as well. They have to let you go, once your time is up. They have to treat you in a certain, way. You have to, there are certain protocols when you go to prison or to jail that they have to, abide by. It's just not a situation where you are being detained, but with a high amount of respect. So anyway, they had different things, and a lot of the slavery was taking place with the Moors. The Moors did have indentured slavery. They were over making sure that you had that paper theology, that we knew where you were at, that we knew that you were being taken care of, that you knew that you were eating and had housing and everything that the person that you was going to work for, checked out. And the Moors were involved with that. And not only just your race of people, but the white people, the Italians, the British, the whoever came over here, we were in control over the policing of them and the respect of them and the human respect and making sure that everybody did everything right. Because we were the owners of the country. This was Morocco Empire Africa before it was called America. It was called Morocco Empire Africa America. You can punch it up now and you'll see everything I'm talking about. Let's say it together, class. This was Morocco Empire Africa America, or the North Gate, and then you can see everything that I'm talking about. But the respect for women was on a grand scale back then. Queen Khalifa, she was the last queen here in California. So anyway, the respect that the men have for the women today, we have to do better than just in the bed. We have to do better than just on a holiday. You have to do better with just a celebration or something. Then we all come together. We need to come together in whole. I understand that a lot of women see in other nationalities of men that are educated, that are wealthy, or that can provide for the family, maybe have suitable housing for their family. Maybe they're buying stuff or getting stuff or having things for birthdays and parties and gifts or whatever. But in our culture, not necessarily, this is not our culture. Because back before, when we were just Moors and this was Morocco Empire Africa, men adorned their women with millions of dollars of furs and animal furs and skins and diamonds and gold and all kinds of stuff. So they treated their women real good. And really, it was the envy of the rest of the whole world of how they treated their women. The envy of the rest of the world. Did men have more than one woman? Sure they did. Is as many as you can afford. Did the women allow it? Sure they did. Because they was being well taken care of, well respected. And the more babies was the more you could build your village up. Your village, your tribe. So anyway, these village people or these tribes didn't have a problem with building up the tribe because these would be more children that could plow the land, that could do the cattle, that could farm, that could build infrastructure. We didn't have a problem with that, you know. We didn't have a problem with that because each man at that point was a king and he was very well educated. He knew about astrology, he knew about metaphysics, he knew about astrology, psychology, philosophy, psycho nanophysics. Huh? He knew all those things. They're very educated. In fact, our people came from Kemet. We actually taught everybody on the planet how to do everything. So we didn't have no problem with our kings, having other women because there will be more people in the tribe to actually personify our tribal, customs, and it would be women would have different roles in the neighborhood or in the tribe or um, in the valley. Some women were great. In fact, all the women were great, or they should have been great with agriculture, growing fruits and vegetables. Um, they great with their hands, pottery and things like that. We were very connected to the sky, and we would do rain dances, and we would do things to change the environment. We were very spiritual, and everybody had sort of like some things that they were doing. There was doctors, there were women doctors, there were herpetologists, there were surgeons, there were, the women had quite a bit of different roles. The men were more of the people that put the idea of the woman into place. So a lot of women had, you know, we wanted something this way or built this way. And did you know it was pyramids here? There's pyramids here. There's still pyramids here. There's a pyramid down here by where I live at. It's a pyramid lake. It's an actual pyramid. So we used to build pyramids, and we used to have great wealth and great knowledge, and it was very respected. Nowadays, where you may have the men kind of not respecting women as much as they should, because I don't know if it's because a man feels like he can't provide for the woman. I don't know if he believes he's better than a woman. I don't know if he's trying to be, I don't know what's going on. But overall, I don't know if since this rap game came out or if this hip hop came out and a lower frequency music has came out and it's not at the right hertz that it's supposed to be, that makes you want to fall in love. Back in the day, you used to have some music, you make you want to fall in love, Al Green and all them, they don't have that music anymore. Now they have the music that incites panic, fear, and violence. And the words in that is also panic, fear, violence. So anyway, so the respect for the woman, I don't know if it's the respect for the woman because this is now a man oriented situation. The United States is because of the Christianity thing. So no, is it, down with women, up with men? I don't know. And with the up with men and forget your creator, I don't know about that. And normally a town or a city or a country cannot go as far they cannot go far, especially if they treat their women real bad. I'm just telling you. So uh, the disrespect of women. Men should adorn women, and even if you don't agree with a woman, just respect her. I think those explicit words that you guys are using for the women is really stopping your creation. And maybe this is the last point of creation that that we're going to be having. And I don't know. And so they're calling, trying to get you not to like a woman or not to like the feminine part of a woman Or are they trying to throw their agenda that we're still animals, even though it came out that they were the only animals? They were the only animals here on this planet. They mixed with Neanderthal and things, rhesus monkeys, HR positive and stuff. Black people don't have that. Or not black people, but Moors don't have that. Anyway, so I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm just saying in general because it's an animal in which you are equating your woman to. Your woman should be highly educated, and you should love a highly educated woman because that's the first you're gonna go as well. Because we're not looking at marriage as marriage. I love you. Let's get married. It's way deeper than that. You supposed to get married to someone because this is a business. You will be formulating a business and someone to take over all of your stuff, which is your children when you die, your empire. The woman should be walking beside you, not in front of you, not in back of you, but beside you. You guys should be equally yoked as far as information and education. You guys should have some of the same common goals together. And of course, you should be attracted to them. You should have spirituality alike, or a give and take. And then that way your children can be on one accord. And you want to have somebody that's already doing something well, already together, already doing things together. So anyway, I just say for men, could you please stop calling women bitches and whores and sluts? And these women are doing as much as they can do since they throne been gone, as much as they can do since they are at home alone, as much as they can do fighting this white man, the green man, the blue man, the politics and everything. After all, everybody that's slain is some mother's kid. Every time every time you go to jail, that's some mother's kid. Every time we find somebody dead in the street, that's some mother's kid that came out of her directly. So could you please refrain from calling her a bitch? Call her a queen to be good. But anyway, I'm not going to keep y'all for a long time, but I love y'all. And y'all have a great day. And remember, respect the children, and respect your mothers, and respect the women. I'll talk to you guys later.